It is currently Monday and we're back from holiday. We got back around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I think. And when we got home, we just focused on sorting the house, tidying, getting washing done, unpacking from holiday, eating. I desperately needed to eat. I am currently 6 weeks and 2 days into my pregnancy, approximately. And according to this, right now, my baby is the size of a blueberry. That's still so small, but that's a lot bigger than the size of a poppy seed that it was like 2 weeks ago, or a week and a half ago. Week and a half ago. It's not even been that long yet. Wow. The holiday was lovely. The place that we went to was really out in the sticks sort of thing. It was a lot more luxurious than we expected. It wasn't quite what we expected, but it was also very luxurious than what we expected. The wildlife was amazing. We had bunnies joining us for dinner and tea pretty much every single day. The amount of birds that we saw was outstanding. We went to the deer park both Saturday and Sunday for lunch, which Jason made me climb the steepest goddamn hill in order to get there. So I can definitely say I've done my exercise this holiday. And on Saturday, we also went for a hike along the coastal route, which involved a nice, lovely walk along the beach in order to see the Needles Point, I think it's called, or Needles Eye. And then back across the beach up the coastal trail, which took us up a huge goddamn hill called Tor's Hill, I think they called it, or Tor's Hill, I think it was called, down the other side. And that was only a third of the coastal path, but by the time we got to that point, I was knackered. I was absolutely exhausted. But all in all, I was actually feeling okay. It's like, because I am growing a baby inside me, it is getting a little more difficult to move around already. It is getting quite tiring. I'm running out of breath a lot faster. But like I said, on Saturday we did do our exercise. We walked up the massive goddamn steep hill in order to get to the deer park, and then down the beach, and then again up the coastal pass. So we got our steps in on Saturday, and we climbed a lot of hills and mountains and all sorts. I was exhausted by the end of it, but I was feeling good. Saturday was one of the days where my symptoms didn't really hit me. Sunday, my symptoms hit me hard. When we went to the deer park on Saturday, I decided to get myself an iron brew because there wasn't really that much options in a drink and I didn't fancy water. So I opted for an iron brew, and then after taking one sip of it and offering a bit to Jason, I realised on checking the ingredients that iron brew contains caffeine, which I had forgotten because it's been a long time since I had iron brew. It's been like over 10 years since I had iron brew. So I completely forgotten that it had caffeine in, and I only had the one sip. That's all I had, was the one sip, but that was more than enough to set off a mild flare on my inflammatory bowel disease, which worried me a little bit because obviously the next day, Sunday, it hit me. Now the problem is with my inflammatory bowel disease, I get iron deficiency anemia, so I get fatigue anyway. When you couple a mild flare-up fatigue with pregnancy fatigue, you get KO'd for nearly the entire day. On Sunday, I spent over half the day asleep. I'm not even kidding. I didn't get out of bed until 11 a.m. We went straight to the deer park, back up that great big goddamn hill. So we got our steps in, we got our exercise in. After the deer park, we went down and started to walk along the loch, or walk around one of the local lochs. And I was really struggling. I was so tired and I was feeling a little woozy. Not like terrible, but just a little woozy. We got back to our location and I fell back asleep again and slept for a good couple of hours before waking up, and Jason encouraged me to get something to eat, and I wasn't particularly hungry, so I just thought, well, I'll just have a couple of eggs. Like, a couple of eggs won't do me any harm, or it'll at least put something on my stomach until I'm more in the mood to eat. Within 10 minutes of eating those eggs, I was throwing up fast. My stomach wanted them out of my body as quick as possible. And that's the first real morning sickness I've kind of had, because the morning sickness does not just happen in the morning, it can happen any time of day. And my God, it happened to me when I ate those eggs. Now, weirdly enough, eggs have actually been something that I have been not craving's the wrong word, but more eager to eat than other foods. So when eating these two eggs made me ill, I was very confused. Very confused. Also, have you ever tried bringing back up eggs? They are dry and they burn on the way back up. Oh, so that was fun. I didn't enjoy that. And then I felt quite nauseous again for the rest of the day. Now, I did actually have a little bit more to eat. Jason very kindly made us some bread and I had a little bit of jam with it, and that seemed to be fine on my stomach. I had no issues keeping that down. But then today, Monday, again, it's been so bad. The fatigue wasn't too bad. The fatigue has been there, but it wasn't as bad as it was yesterday. But the nausea, oh my God, trying to get home from Scotland, Jason ended up having to do all the driving because just being in the car was sending my stomach off and knocking me sick. Like every turn, every twist, every sudden stop, every speed up, I was ready to go. I was on the verge of blowing up, and I ended up having to fall asleep in the car, like put my head like down on the back and just close my eyes to stop myself from being sick because the nausea was so bad. It was awful today. And then we've got home and we stopped at one of the services, and this particular service is like a farmhouse and a farm shop site thing, and it's really, really lovely. They've got fresh food in there and they've got a farm shop with everything you can ask for, fruits, veg, like snacks, you name it. We stopped off for some food. I got some fish and chips, which is exactly the same thing I got on the way to our holiday on Friday, because we also stopped at the same service on the way there because it was about halfway. I got fish and chips on Friday, and when I tried to eat the peas on Friday, the peas made me feel sick. So I accepted that I couldn't finish the peas, but I did finish all of the fish and chips. I've currently got the hiccups, I do apologise. However, today on the way back, I really struggled to eat those fish and chips. I still couldn't eat the peas. I tried to have 2 or 3 peas and my body wasn't having any of it. It's like, no, you can make me need another one of those, I'll bring it back up. So I just ate the fish and chips and I really struggled to finish them. There was no pleasure in that food at all. I had no desire to actually finish it. I was really fighting just to have some in my belly because I just didn't want to eat it. It wasn't appealing to me. It wasn't satisfying my hunger or satisfying my desires. And I got so confused. And then we went into the farm shop before we left and had a browse around and got some of my favourite candlemint cake. I absolutely love candlemint cake. I know it's literally like pure sugar and mint, but it's so good. It's so good. Anytime I have a sugar craving, I just need a tiny little bit, and I mean like a little bit of this, and it gives me that boost, it gives me that energy that I need. And that's what it's actually designed for. It's actually designed for hikers or people doing long excursions to help give them a boost of energy. And it does that. So I usually enjoy getting a bit of candlemint cake and just having a bit of a nibble anytime I need a boost of energy, or if I just have a bit of a sweet tooth, literally a nibble of this stuff does me. Got some candlemint cake, and while we were in the farm shop, I spotted some strawberries that were on discount, and they were still in good condition. They'd just been discounted because they were like a day old. And I was looking at them, I was eyeing them up, I was like, should I? Shouldn't I? Should I? Shouldn't I? I couldn't make up my mind, and then as we got to the till, I decided to grab upon it. And when we got back to the car, I took a bite of one, and oh my God, my body was like, yes, this is what I wanted. Not that fish and chips, not that stodgy stuff. I wanted fruit. I wanted nutrition. Just give me that fruit. And Jason literally shouted, hurrah! I finally converted her, because he knows how difficult it is to get me to eat my fruit and veg. I've been really, really good since finding out I've been pregnant. I have been really making sure that I get plenty of fruit and vegetables in my stomach throughout the day. That was the first time my body had preferred fruit and veg over something like chips or fish, which was so weird. And then when we got home, I cooked my normal usual meal, which was a portion of salmon with some Indomie noodles, which I know aren't the healthiest, but I don't put the oils in. I just put the flavouring and the soy sauce. I don't put the oils in to try and reduce the amount of calories in it, because the oils are the bulk of the calories. So I had some salmon, I had some Indomie noodles, and I also had 3 different types of vegetables, which today I think was radish, spinach, and I also put some jackfruit in there as well. That was what my body wanted. As soon as I had one bite of that mixture, that concoction, my body was so happy. So happy. It's the weirdest sensation. It is that I've never had my body want or desire to eat fruit and vegetables before now. And it is a strange sensation. But we are now home. We are back to work tomorrow. And it's going to be interesting to see how I survive. I've got a very, very busy day tomorrow, so I probably won't vlog much tomorrow at all. I've got to pick my cat up from the kennels in the morning. I've then got to go to an entire day at work. I then need to go and pick up my parrots from Jason's mum and dad's so we can bring those home. And then I'm going to meet up with my friend Vicky for a couple of hours after work. And Jason is on a very, very, very long shift. So we've both got a very busy day. Neither of us are probably going to be home until like 8:30, 9 o'clock tomorrow night. So I probably won't be doing much vlogging tomorrow, So I will update you guys in a couple of days' time with how things are going. But so far it's been interesting. I've been watching a lot of first trimester vlogs. I've actually just paused one so I can actually just quickly record this little snippet. And the amount of people who said for week 4, week 5, they had a few symptoms, they talked about what their symptoms were, and I've done a whole solo video about the different symptoms I've been experiencing. But almost all of them have said that in week 6, week 7, which is what I'm currently in, their symptoms ramped up. Like suddenly exploded, and I'm finding the exact same thing. I'm finding that as week 6 has hit, day 1 of week 6, Saturday, wasn't too bad, but yesterday and today my symptoms went to a whole nother level, and I really hope that they don't keep complaining for the rest of the week, because I can't afford to take time off work. But yeah, that's what's happened to us over this weekend. We did have a lovely time on holiday. We got our exercise in. Might not have filmed a lot of it, but we did get our exercise in. We got our steps in. We climbed mountains, we walked on beaches, we clambered the steepest goddamn hills, and we had a very much needed relaxation, which my body then forced me to have even more of a relaxation. I am going to finish chilling out for the rest of the night because this is the last day that I actually have to chill. And like I said, I will catch up with you guys in a couple of days when hopefully all is still going well and my symptoms haven't gone through the roof. It's Tuesday. I wasn't actually going to do any vlogging today. I got home slightly earlier than expected. And I'm knackered. It's been a long day. It's long day. And the fatigue isn't from baby fatigue or pregnancy fatigue. I'm just tired. It's been a long day. I've had to separate my group walks so that I'm only walking 2 or 3 dogs at any one time, which means I'm now walking 3 hours a day instead of 2 hours a day. That alone is tiring. On top of that, I had to go pick up the cat from the cattery. I had to pick up the parrots from Jason's mum and dad's. I was meant to be meeting up with my friend Vicky, but she's had a really tough couple of days and has ended up injuring her leg. So she wanted a day just to rest and recover. So we agreed we're going to meet up tomorrow when we both have a bit more time. I didn't get home from dropping the girls off until about 6. And I've literally got home, put them to bed, got a shower, got into my pajamas just for something comfy, then had my tea, and I'm now watching first trimester pregnancy vlogs again. But the reason I actually wanted to get the camera out today is because I'm not having cravings. I'm not having cravings at all for any particular food yet. But, as Jason calls it, I am being a bit of a monkey because sometimes I don't know what I want to eat until I see it. And that has been true for me for a very long time, but it's especially true right now. So for example, when I'd finished my group walks and I was getting ready to go pick up my parrots from Jason's mum and dad's, I needed to nip to Tesco for some petrol, and Jason asked if I could nip into Tesco and get him some jam and honey, so I did. And while I was in Tesco, I spotted the Yo Sushi stand and I spotted the Greg's stand, and at this point I was really hungry because I had porridge for breakfast, which I really struggle to eat. I really struggle to eat. I'm gonna have to go back to the Huel meals for breakfast because that porridge just made me feel blah. So I only had about half my porridge this morning, and then I had a Huel shake throughout the day, which was fine. I always have it in increments just to try and keep myself feeling topped up through the day. So anytime I get hungry, I just have a little thing of Huel. And then when I got to Tesco, I was like, I really need some more food. I've not had enough food today and I'm getting really hungry. So I decided to get some California rolls from Yo Sushi because I can't have raw fish. I can't have my favorite. I can't have the salmon nigiri or the salmon sashimi or anything else. I decided to go for the California rolls because they're made of cooked crab meat sticks. And it's not actually crab meat. It's like this fake fish crab meat stuff, like the standard seafood sticks they call them these days, because they're not allowed to call them crab sticks anymore because they're not made of crab. But seafood sticks, they have like seafood sticks in the middle of rice, and to my knowledge from the research I've done, I am allowed seafood sticks or crab sticks. So I decided to get myself some California rolls because it's literally just the seafood sticks, avocado and some rice and some seaweed. Absolutely perfect. Went down a treat. I loved every single bite of it. Bless him, Jason really wanted to treat me to sushi yesterday, not realising that I couldn't eat raw fish. And thankfully, he checked with me before he ordered. He said, right, Ashley, there you go, put what you want ordered in. And I could only order one item off the entire menu, which was cooked salmon. I think it was salmon teriyaki bowl or something like that. And he's like, is that all you're getting? You usually have way more than that. I was like, I know, but I can't have all my favourites because I'm not allowed to eat raw fish. I can't have my usual favourites. I can't have my raw salmon. He's like, oh, I didn't know. Well, there's no point in me ordering this then because it was meant to be like a treat for you. I was like, oh, thank you for considering me, but no. But as far as I'm aware, I can have the California roll. So I treated myself some California rolls today instead. And I also got myself a vegan sausage roll from Greg's because lactose. Me and lactose. And then as I was walking to get the jam and the honey for Jason, I spotted some very fresh, very soft hot dog buns. And suddenly, out of nowhere, I wanted hot dogs and I wanted them now. And I said to Jason, I saw hot dog buns and I suddenly wanted hot dogs. So I got hot dogs and hot dog buns. And he's like, oh yeah, you don't have any cravings whatsoever. I was like, I don't. Like, this is just me. Like, you know for a fact, or from shopping with me several times, that if I see something, I'll suddenly want it. And it is always the same with me and hot dog. I never want hot dogs until I see some really soft hot dog buns and then suddenly I want hot dogs. And that was exactly what happened this time. So to me, that is not a craving, but Jason insists that it is a craving. It's not. I seen it and I wanted it briefly and now I've had it, I'm fine. And I don't want it again. But he insists it's a craving. It's just a case of, as he calls it, I'm a monkey and I don't know what I want until I see it. He's not wrong. He's not wrong. That has always been the case with me. I don't know what I want until I see it. And the exact same thing happened on Monday, yesterday, when we were at the farm shop and I saw the strawberries and suddenly I wanted strawberries. I don't know. Is it a craving? Is it not? I have no idea. I'm having what I'm calling a low symptom day today. I've only had congestion in the nose. Congestion in the nose. I've been sneezing a lot. My nose has been running a lot, but I didn't know whether or not it was because of my hay fever or whether or not it was pregnancy congestion or whether or not it was even a mixture of the two, but it has been bad today. I have been sneezing a lot and I have been congested quite a lot and having to blow my nose a lot. But that's the only real symptom I've had today. That and sudden urgency for hot dogs after seeing hot dog buns. But other than that, I'm actually having a really easy pregnancy. minus the nausea and stuff yesterday. I'm having a really easy pregnancy so far, which I don't know whether or not that should be worrying. I know some people say they don't feel any symptoms at all. And I know all the pregnancy vlogs I've been watching so far, like all the first trimester vlogs I've watched so far, have all gone through really rough times. They've had, I can't remember the name of it, but that condition where you can't physically stop throwing up, or they've really struggled with food and can't eat, or they've had an aversion to food. And my best friend who had a baby was exactly the same. She had major aversions to food. She couldn't cook, she couldn't go in the fridge. It's like she really struggled. She had to be out of the room, out of the kitchen altogether while her partner cooked, and then she could eat the food. And there was quite a lot of foods that she was avert to, I believe. Whereas I'm actually finding I'm not actually having that much of a problem. Majority of the foods I have at home are still fine. Majority of the foods I'm finding I'm wanting are fine. Not really fatigued. Like I'll have the odd day or two, like on Sunday, where I do crash for the whole day, but that's it. The rest of the week I'm fine. I'm usually just a little drowsy. The nausea is almost non-existent, minus yesterday on the way home from Scotland and also the egg scenario on Sunday. But other than that, I'm not really nauseous at all. But again, I don't know whether or not this is just me being really lucky, like really lucky. I'm finding that I'm having high symptom days and low symptom days. High symptom days are where I do get really fatigued, or I can't stop going to the toilet, or my constipation is really bad. Yes, you get constipation when pregnant and it freaking hurts. But then I also get constipation due to my ulcerative colitis. So potentially I'm either being really lucky and I'm not having that bad a pregnancy, or I'm so used to having all these symptoms on a daily basis that I've just learned to power through them and they no longer really bother me. I don't know, because I get fatigue due to my ulcerative colitis. I get constipation due to my ulcerative colitis. I get freaking low iron levels because of my ulcerative colitis. I get congestion because of my hay fever. I get nausea anytime I'm hungry. That was long before I became pregnant. Again, I've got an overactive bladder, so I'm used to going to the toilet regularly. Battled with the same symptoms that pregnancy seems to come with most of my life. So I think by this point it's just second nature to deal with it. I'm not noticing it as much as other people might, because obviously other people who don't have chronic illnesses wouldn't have to battle through fatigue every single day, or they wouldn't have to battle through constipation once a week and stuff like this, more than once a week, but that's neither here nor there. You don't need to know that. But yeah, I think I am being quite lucky in that respect. And I don't know whether or not the luck is because I'm just not experiencing the symptoms, or because I am so used to the symptoms on my day-to-day life that I'm not noticing them as much unless they're really, really bad. Or I might be speaking too soon. We don't know. I might get to the end of this week and hit week 7 and find that I'm completely shot and my symptoms go through the roof. Pardon me, I've got the hiccups. I don't know. At the moment, I'm feeling very lucky because I'm having, again, quite a few days like this where I only have one symptom for the whole day, or I only have a handful of symptoms or a couple of symptoms for the entire day. And other than that, I'm energetic, I feel fine, I feel great. The amount of pregnancy vlogs I'm watching at the moment who are having such a difficult time, and remembering what my friend went through when she was pregnant and how she had a similarly difficult time. And I'm here almost breezing through it. I feel guilty. I feel really guilty. It's a strange sensation. It really is. Yeah. I won't put my phone. I don't actually know where I've lost my phone. Right, now that I have found my phone, I'm feeling a bit more sane. Off my head. Hi. You're meant to be going to bed now, because we're about to leave. It's been a busy couple of days. I am currently, where am I up to on the tracker? I am currently at 6 weeks and 5 days. Will you stay off my head? Yes, I know, but I'm about to go out. I'm currently at 6 weeks and 5 days. Go on. Your dad wants you. Go find him. No, he does. You need to go find him. Stop leaving. Leave me alone. As it says, we're at 6 weeks and 5 days approximately. My Badger app, or the Badger Notes app from the NHS, actually puts me at 7 weeks and 5 days. However, I've got a longer cycle, so according to the NHS calculator, I'm 6 weeks and 5 days. I'm going off that, whereas the NHS are going off me having a normal cycle. That's neither here nor there. As far as I'm aware, I'm 6 weeks and 5 days. I'll be honest, I was starting to get a bit worried, because obviously this is still very early days and there's no scans or anything until like 12 weeks, which is a long way away, to not know whether or not something's actually going on the inside, which nerves me a little bit. And I've been watching a lot of pregnancy vlogs, and a lot of them have been getting private scans between the 6 to 8 week marker, just to give them a bit of peace of mind. And when I went to visit my friend Vicky yesterday, she actually recommended a couple of places where she's had ultrasounds in the past to check for ovarian cysts and stuff. I decided to take her advice, and we booked in for an ultrasound scan today, for an early ultrasound scan for between 6 to 8 weeks of pregnancy approximately, basically just to give me peace of mind more than anything, just to confirm that baby is actually there and they're healthy and they have a heartbeat. I say healthy, we won't know at this point how they are, but just to make sure that they're there and they have a heartbeat and they're okay. I think I just need the clarification more than anything for my own mental well-being, because I don't really care if there's anything else going on. I don't really care if the placenta's in the wrong place. I don't really care if I've got fibroids or anything else in between. The only thing I would like to know is that baby has a heartbeat and baby is okay. That's the only thing I want to know. The one and only thing. Our appointment is in 45 minutes time, and it's in about half an hour walking distance, so I am just currently snacking on a piece of ginger, a piece of crystallized ginger, just to make sure I can starve off any hunger while we're there. And apparently I have to have a full bladder. Well, we know what my bladder's like recently, don't we? So I don't know how that's going to happen, but we're going to try. We are going to try and have a full bladder for this scan. A bit more ginger. Yeah. Crystallized ginger. Very, very good for keeping off the nausea. Not that I've had much nausea, but I'm assuming this might be one of the reasons why. So yeah, we're actually going to go and have our first ever ultrasound tonight of our little one. On top of that, I actually finally got my booking appointment through today. My first appointment with the midwife is going to be next Friday, which is very exciting. And apparently it's only a short walk from where we are, but we don't know where it is that we're actually going, because the address that they've given us is a housing estate. We don't know of any non-houses that are down there, so it's confused us a little bit. So we're going to have to go for a walk at some point to have a look into that. And it means that we're getting closer and closer to our dating scan to work out how far along we are, or confirm how far along we are, and get a better estimation of due date. So we are going to head off now and go to our ultrasound scan, which is very exciting. Very, very exciting. Very nerve-wracking at the same time, because there is that possibility that they could find nothing. We'll see.
Coming out, staying.
I'm coming.
All right.
So we've not long got back from the scan. I've not had a shower yet, because I was debating whether or not to do some exercise tonight, but I was hoping to do that, but I've been wanting to do exercise all week. I've just had so little time every day. If not running around picking up all the animals, I went to see Vicky yesterday and I had a shed load of video editing to do. So I was hoping to get some exercise done tonight. Oh, emotionally I'm too tired. I say emotionally. My emotions are being the opposite of what most people report during pregnancy. A lot of people report getting mood swings, or getting angry at no reason, or getting emotional and crying for no reason. I'm having the opposite effect. I'm completely zen. Like, usually my temper is out of control. And usually I get emotional quite easily, whereas at the moment I'm very zen. I'm very, very zen. Nothing is angering me, nothing is stressing me, nothing is making me particularly emotional at this point. For the most part, I'm zen. And a part of me can't help but wonder whether or not that's because I now currently have some of Jason's DNA inside me, and he's a very zen person anyway. I don't think that would have an impact, but who knows? It might have some kind of impact to my pregnancy, but I can now confirm with 200% certainty I am definitely pregnant, which I knew anyway because the pregnancy test came back positive, but at the scan we got to see the heartbeat. It's like we didn't get to hear the heartbeat, it was too quiet. Like you need to wait for the pregnancy to be further along to hear the heartbeat. There was definitely a heartbeat there was definitely a little flutter on the ultrasound, and I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Like, while we were there, I wasn't very emotional at all. I was just happy to see that baby was okay. She did a quick check of my ovaries and the location and where baby was, and everything is looking good. My ovaries look clear and healthy. Tubes don't seem to have any blockages, or there's nothing to suggest that baby is in the tubes. Baby is in the womb where they should be. They currently seem very happy and healthy, and the little heartbeat is fluttering away. That's all I wanted to know. That's all I wanted to know, was that they were there and they were healthy, and they were, I say healthy, we don't know how healthy they are at the moment, but all I want to know is that they were there and they were alive and they had a little heartbeat. That's all I wanted to know. I just wanted to know that they were alive. I say alive, they have a heartbeat. Like that's as close as to alive as they can be right now, because technically at the moment they're still cells. They're still cells at the moment. They haven't got a soul yet. The soul hasn't started developing, the soul hasn't started forming, at least in my belief. I believe the soul comes later, once the baby and the brain is more developed and prepared. But again, that's my belief. But they have a heartbeat. They actually have a heartbeat. And something I found interesting is I'm actually further behind than what the NHS thinks I am, because I have a slightly longer schedule than most women. I think I'm just over a week behind, a week longer in my cycle than most women. Because I have a longer cycle, like I said, I was expecting to be further behind. So the NHS currently think I'm closer to 8 weeks at the moment, but today's scan actually confirmed I'm further behind than I thought I was. My current due date according to Badger Notes is the 16th of January, and my due date according to the NHS calculator is the 24th of January. However, today's scan put me at 6 weeks and 2 days, which means my estimated due date as of right now, after the scan, or after this scan, which the NHS I don't think will acknowledge, but it's nice to know for my own benefit, I am actually 6 weeks and 2 days, which means my due date is the 27th of January, the end of January, start of February, which might unnerve my best friend a bit, because my best friend, or one of my best friend's birthday is on the 10th of February, and she said I am not allowed to have the baby on her birthday. That's her birthday. But if baby is a couple of weeks late, there's a possibility they could come on her birthday. That's going to be a fun game to play if waters start breaking on the day of her birth, or day of her birthday. She will not be happy. Oh, I'm not going to be able to celebrate her birthday with her this year. Oh, that's going to be a problem. Next year. But we did get some scans, and the lady was so lovely. The lady on the desk was so lovely, because they were only meant to give us one scan, and she gave me three. She gave me 3 scans. That was like, she originally said, I'm going to give you 2. Just don't tell anyone, I'll give you 2. And then when we said we were debating between 3 of them, she said, I'll just give you all 3. She was so lovely. She was so kind and lovely. First one, there's a little blob. A little blob of minion. So tiny. So tiny. Got that one. And then the last one that she gave us was this one, where you can see them a lot clearer, and it actually has my current estimation based on baby size. I have my first scans, which are very early scans. They're very, very, very early scans, but they're proof. They're proof that they're here and they're growing inside me, which the reality of that hasn't set in yet. And I don't think the reality of that will set in, baby is growing inside me, will actually set in properly until my bump starts to show. As of yet, I don't have a bump, it's far too early. Bumps are predicted to start around 12 weeks for the first trimester, I think. 12 to 16 weeks for first time pregnancies, I believe. So we still got like a whole month before my bump starts to grow. We got our first scans, which is very exciting. We know they're real, they have a heartbeat, and we have a better idea of how far along I am, which helps a lot. It helps a heck of a lot. And it's going to be a nice surprise for the NHS when I go for my 12-week scan and I'm actually 10 weeks. But it's also nice to just have that better idea of where we're up to. Right, I need to stop being sentimental. You can't help but be sentimental in this situation. I'm going to go get a shower. I'm going to chill out and rest in my emotions for the rest of the day. Because even though I am feeling very zen, I still get emotions and thoughts, and I overthink like crazy. It feels like a lot of noise in the background. There we go, he's gone into the kitchen. No, he's back. Nope, gone into the kitchen again. I'm going to go sit with my emotions or let the realisation sink in. There really is a baby. I really am pregnant. I really am going to be a mum. Jason's really going to be a dad. The Star Wars menace that's in the background. I now have light, apparently. I have light. Yes, I have now gone backwards.
But she can turn back time.
We are now back to 6 weeks and 2 days, which is kind of annoying. It's kind of annoying to know that we've gone backwards, but it is also nice to know or have a better estimation of what's going on. Anyway, I am going to go now for the night and get a shower, get myself sorted. I've got a slightly shorter day in work tomorrow, so I'm hoping to be able to either go on a run, or if the weather's miserable, I might stay home and do some mobility and calisthenics. Probably stick at home and do some mobility and calisthenics because I'm really going to need to improve my muscle strength in order to carry the baby as it grows. So I think I will focus on that tomorrow. I need to get some training in this week because I've not done any training at all this week. I will leave you guys there and see you in a bit. See you in a bit because week 6 is now going to be a week and a half long. Hello everyone, it's Saturday. We are out at parkrun because we're still doing parkrun. You're walking / trotting half park run, running when we feel like it, walking when we want to. Although granted, we've walked the entire thing so far, and we're at the field at the moment. Just finished cheering everyone through the 3 to 4k, and on the route to the finish line, we've got Vicky. Vicky's with us today, and Nicola is somewhere behind us. There, you can just see her in the yellow at the very back. So we've not actually seen her yet today. We thought she was going to catch up with us, but because she's usually a faster walker than us, but not today. Today I think she's walking with someone, I'm not too sure. She's usually caught up with us by this point. But we're nearly there, we're almost at the 3k marker at the minute.